I am excited because we are going to start. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 160 of the Guardian Hub podcast, where I start the show sometimes prematurely.
Prematurely?
We were thinking the same thing.
Basically.
Yep. See, a little behind the scenes for people not in the know is we've been doing a new thing where Sin will often count down to start the podcast, and then I do the little spiel at the beginning. But this time I just started it.
Exactly. You got a little trigger happy, as I like to say?
I guess. But, I'm ready to go. I just had a Culver's deluxe burger. Pretty good. Did you have some yummy food, it sounded like?
Yeah, grilled out chicken, some steak. They made some hush puppies or some mashed potatoes in there. It was good stuff. Had breakfast earlier, and
you had breakfast?
Yep. And took the wife for a pedicure. And if you're wondering, yes, I did participate. It's always good to get those leg massages in.
Yeah, I did you get any nail paint? Sometimes I'll go with like a gray or a black when I get a pedicure.
No, I will definitely not do color, but I do get the clear. Clear is okay. Color is not.
Yeah, it is, especially like black or gray. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool.
No, it's a no from me, dog.
Yeah, that's fine. I went kind of out of town this weekend. Just my in-laws live in a city an hour and a half away, and the valley is kind of known as like a destination area from people that live in Salt Lake. Of course, my wife grew up there, so she's like, it's not a big deal. But we're like, hey, we'll just visit them last minute this weekend. I booked an overnight because we don't at a hotel because we don't like to, stay at their house just because of, the accommodations. And
right.
And in the town, it's pretty cheap to get a hotel too, in comparison, at least to many other places. Especially because I know the game to play with Priceline. I don't know if you've ever used Priceline, the Express deals. Anyone ever heard of that?
Nope, don't even know what that is.
Yeah, let us know if you have. But Priceline has this thing where you get to pick a class of hotel, like a 2-star, 2.5, 3-star, whatever. You pick the class, and then it'll tell you a price. And the price is usually like 25 to 50% cheaper than the normal price. But they won't tell you what hotel you're getting. They're just going to guarantee a certain class of hotel, but not what it is. Well, you can often do research, or if you've been in that city before, you know what you're going to get. So I knew I was going to get the La Quinta in this area, and so I knew it was a good deal for that. I've done this game many other times, so I would get it for much cheaper booking it that way. However, I picked the wrong. Oh, the other thing about this is there's no refunds or anything, change dates or refunds, because they say since you're going for a cheaper price for the hotel, just once you get it, you have to do it. You can't back out. Well, silly me. Out of like my whole life, this is the first time I've ever booked a hotel on the wrong night. I was doing it like late Wednesday night this last week. Must have just been tired.
Ooh.
I picked the wrong date, and I realized that right after I hit submit. I'm like, oh shit, I'm out $80. So I tried to like sell it to some friends, give it away to family members. No one was able to go. It was kind of a last minute thing. And then I had to book the next night also, so we could actually do our getaway.
Instead of just going the day early?
Well, we tried. It's a long story. I won't bore everyone. I would have wanted to do that, but my wife had a commitment for a gig that she was in that she was even trying to get out of, but the person who put it together has been really grumpy and bitchy lately, and like, you committed to this and blah, 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 blah. So my wife's like, I'm not going to fight against it. But that's my story. But we did get out of town, long story short, and had fun, and then just got back a little while ago, visited the in-laws, and then I was hungry, so I got my Butterburger from Culver's.
Nice.
Des, what have you been up to, good sir?
No, about the usual.
And the usual is how tall? Sorry, silly joke.
About 6'1".
Actually, I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So good to know.
Man, I feel short now.
You might have. Yeah.
I might have at one point in time, because I've been 6'1" since I was like 15.
Mhm. Yeah.
5'7"
Which,
here. You got me beat though by a lot.
yeah, the only reason I know that is because, well, I have measured a couple times, but the first time I ever knew my height for sure was when I was doing basketball.
Oh.
And it was like a part of the physical, some like mini physical or whatever, getting your weight, your height, turn and golf, all those fun things.
Yeah, all the measurements. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or did they do? Did we talk about this before with like me? Like you're 6'1" 3/4, or did they just do it the easy way?
Oh, I have no idea, but
nice. Okay, so you're up to 6'1". Anything else? I guess we can talk about.
I know something exciting Des did.
I want to talk about this at the beginning of the show.
All right.
I forgot about it and jumped in late, but I don't know how long you had been in there, but I know you at least were in there before me.
Oh, God. I've been there at least an hour.
Well, I guess I was.
It had been at least an hour.
I know what you guys are talking about too, and you can talk about that, but then talk about what you've finished up.
I had a very surprise guest entrance to this week's Guardian Downcast. So surprised that Gator didn't even know about it.
Oh, did Hazel or someone just drag you in without him knowing?
Exactly. Hazel kind of masterminded this thing to pull me, RNG Gator, and Burning Wing in during their community cast. Gator's nightmare.
Oh man! So I only caught some of the tail end of the show, so I didn't hear anything too crazy going on by then. But was it glorious?
No, it was glorious. It was glorious. No clue how much Gator's going to like edit out or clean up or paywall. But no, yeah, it was absolutely glorious. Things got there were many times things got completely out of Gator's hands. So it was fantastic, and as everyone would hope.
Enough that I should be happy, or enough that I should feel bad for him?
Nah, it probably wasn't that bad.
No, I'm sure it wasn't. Hopefully. But it seemed like you guys had a fun time. There was a lot of people in and out of the show, it seemed like.
Yeah. Well, in and out was usually seemingly by accident, but no, there's a few good people. Like there's definitely a few good people to hear from in that episode. Friend of the show, Mo, Salt was there. G Drafty for at least 30 minutes. Spoiler alert: he passes out, so you don't hear from him after a while. But yeah.
Nice. And this was a show that was recorded 2 nights ago, as of when we're recording this, and the episode should probably come out about the same time of this episode coming out also, I would assume.
You're having high hopes that you're expecting me to be on the same night that I record it.
Well, same weekly episode, whenever you can get it, Sin. The point was it's their most recent one.
True. Yeah. I was happy to get in there towards the end when they were doing the song picks. Totally had to rickroll and put in some "Never Gonna Give You Up" as my song pick. I don't know if Gator's going to include that or not, though, but I did choose a different song after.
Nice. So we're basically talking about you guys crashing their podcast, but also I wanted to talk about Des. You have your Hephaestus index updated, I believe. Good sir.
Yes. As posted in announcements, it is completely up to date. Everything is in there, including the title SMG. and including the Compass Rose now. Apparently I forgot to add that when it came out. So that's there now.
I haven't heard
Excellent.
that name for a gun in a while.
All right.
And
But
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
you said, GPU Index. So everyone check it out there because we keep just
Mhm.
permanent links of that in that channel.
I do
Yep,
have a question for you, Des. How many
Mm-hmm.
times is the title in there?
Once.
Because we surely get a crap load of titles. You should probably put it in there more than once.
Ha ha.
I mean, that
My joke's
even
on point.
hilariously, if I were to include everything as they as per instances that they have in light.gg, which is like my first source of adding things, because they have a very nifty feature of new weapons for a season. So you can just like a button click and you just see everything that's been added, like during the current season. But no, if you go by that, for whatever reason, the Vow of the Disciple raid weapons show up like 3 or 4 different times, not including the adept versions. And that was weird. I have no idea why.
You're trying to tell us something.
I don't know. Like I have no idea. So I like examined one of them, and there was no discernible difference between the entries, but just the entries exist separately.
So the
So
raid exotic
that's-
is in there 3 times at least?
No. I think that one was in there once, but things like, of course, Lubray's Ruin and Cataclysmic, they have like 3 or 4 different selectable entries. Like I said, not including the adept version, which is a separate entry for purposes of things like light.gg. I don't include adept weapons because, at least from the stat lines and such, there's no discernible difference. So it would just end up being fairly redundant. And I try to keep things fairly succinct as much as I can.
Right. Makes sense.
The only redundancies that I know I have in there were when the Ikelos weapons were technically reissued with the Prophecy dungeon. But like I said, I gave them new entries because actually their names changed from version 1.0.1s to version 1.0.2 in their reissue.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
ended up giving them separate entries just because they actually had a name change. So I felt that was justified.
Yeah. Version different. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, drinking anything good tonight, Sen? We're having a little bit of a beer, wine, whiskey talk in the chat.
Nothing for me drinking tonight.
But the other night you did.
Oh yeah, Apothic Inferno.
What is that? Your picture was really close. I couldn't tell.
I had you get you all up in that wine. It's a
It was
red
a wine?
blend.
Red blend?
It's
Okay.
with whiskey barrel aged.
So wait, it's a wine and a whiskey?
No, it's aged in the whiskey barrels. So
Okay,
you get that
now.
Yeah, you definitely get that burn, that little bit of a burn
Yeah.
in there, and when it comes across in the flavor, so it is really good. I started liking Apothic before having Inferno. The red blend, just the regular red blend, is good as well. And the whiskey aged ones is nice. So,
Okay.
kind of gets the best of both worlds for me: wine and whiskey.
Yeah, I got you. Like I said, it's
Whiskey
fun.
and wine. Isn't that
Yeah.
like a 311 song or something?
What did you call it?
Whiskey and wine.
Oh,
I don't
no,
remember the words.
Whiskey.
Now I got to look this up.
Oh God, I know, right? Please, it will murder me if I don't know, because
It is Whiskey and Wine. Whiskey and Wine, yeah. There's a 311 song. That's our song pick of the week. Okay. Whiskey and Wine by 311.
All right.
We'll put a link here. Here, I'll put the YouTube link in the live chat.
Blast from the past.
Yep. Check it out, Sin, after the show or during the show because you like to do things at the same time.
Multitask. That's every day of my life.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Destiny, has anyone hopped into doing anything with Guardian games?
Dude, I've been doing a lot with Guardian games. Predominantly, surprisingly, losing to Warlocks.
Really?
Yeah, I think pretty much every day has been dominated by Warlocks in first place so far.
Yeah, that is true.
And it has, from what I saw of like the banner positioning, it has not been close until yesterday. Like it
No,
just
it
has not
really
even
hasn't
been
been.
close.
It's been like a runaway with Warlocks for some reason.
I am 100%. I am 100% in the belief that this is a community spurt thing, and the greater powers that are the vocal minority that have the time to play this game constantly are pretty much decided who's going to win.
But I'm still a little questionable if it'll happen in the long run because there's still enough time left where, let's say it switched today and the whole rest of the time. Because in fact, Philip did just make a good point. I double checked on the tower. Titans are on top right now as of this moment.
Well, yeah, I mean every other year hasn't been an entire total blowout.
Yeah. So maybe this will just be, we will know by our next podcast more what the trend looks like, but
Exactly.
we'll see if, okay, so what, yesterday, Hunters won though. I'm looking, it's Warlock,
Okay.
Hunter.
So
And-
Hunters did end up pulling it out. That's nice.
Yeah, but that's just one. And then if this stays,
Yeah.
I mean, we still have a bit till reset, obviously, but if this stays, it looks like Titans are ahead right now.
I'm still going to go ahead and predict Warlocks winning.
Oh, I hope. Just like
I mean, it would. I can't be mad because that would mean, Warlocks. I mean, each class has one a year, which would just be kind of cool.
Mhm.
I don't think the stakes are that high because again, it's just your class's particular segment of the multiple statue will just be highlighted in gold is like the grand prize. So, and I always forget about it, to be honest.
Well, I like how they've added just even a little bit more this year to make it interesting. And I'm wondering, any of your thoughts about the playlists, the training and then the competitive, which is basically just almost like equivalent to a Nightfall, but they're calling it a Strike playlist.
I mean, they are Nightfalls.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they.
Well, I mean, I know they call them
Strike too, but
because if you pick up a Nightfall contender card, they will also complete in the competitive and training playlists.
Makes sense. But nonetheless, really heavy focus on strike scoring, a really heavy focus on all these Vanguard medals in the Triumphs, which I think are pretty cool and something that didn't really seem to push that much until I saw it after the fact. And then also I want to know everyone's thought on the matchmaking and how well it has worked for you if you've hopped in matchmaking.
That was all right.
That doesn't sound too great. What do you mean by all right?
It goes quick enough.
No, I mean, like, how did you complete it fine? Do you remember what score you got? How was it with the blueberries? Because this is the first third level up. It's 1550 this season, but this is the first we haven't had a third level up Nightfall matchmaking yet, and this is equivalent to that.
I mean, the blueberries we did just fine. We were able to achieve. I only did really this weekend the one competitive when it unlocked, and I did it match made. And we were able to achieve the platinum score with it. So
nice.
Like I said, I think it's fine. Granted, it's one is a small sample size versus how many match made events were there or match made runs were done over the weekend. One a small sample size, but I wouldn't mind trying it again to see. But I think, honestly, with the level that this particular strike is at, even though it is could be difficult as a grandmaster, at this level, it's not bad with matchmaking and blueberries.
Yeah, and I'll tell you my experience at the end. Des, did you hop in at match made?
Yes, yes, I've match made both training and competitive. Um, I think I tend to like the mindset a little more on the competitive because when I did do it for the competitive, like I mean, it was very easy to get the platinum score. I know training with I guess the kind of mismatch, or I guess without real stakes or anything. Um, I think the highest I've achieved a couple of times was maybe a gold, barely. Just with the random blueberries, which still isn't awful,
Mhm.
but yeah, like I said, the first competitive I dropped into platinum, no problem. Nothing really went too awfully wrong, so feels like the general consensus is, training's just kind of chill, but people tend to, at least from my very small sample size, people are tending to take the competitive side of it a little more seriously, which is nice.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't have a much larger sample size. I think I may have 4, but I'll say 3 to be safe. I did run in there also with Monkey and Muffin, just with our own fire team. But the first day I hopped in and I did training, and it wasn't the best experience, mostly because the blueberries were fine, but at the very end, they kept dying. And so it turned into one of these things that I remember seeing a lot in D1, where we'd give it a couple tries and then we'd wipe on the boss because it was a darkness zone. So you'd have to start the boss fight over again. And then they'd get frustrated and you see them, they're in their menu and they're going to leave. And so
Yeah.
they leave. And I'm like, okay, hopefully this is like D1 also, where if I just wait a little bit, someone will get match made in. Sure enough, I did. We started the boss fight over. Someone else came in. But my very first experience, and it was fine because this was kind of like funny in a way and slightly frustrating, but I had to go through 3 different people changes before we finally got it done. And by then, our score, we'd gotten all the way up to high gold. I don't know if we'd, because I got the thing pop up on my screen, gold threshold, but we didn't get to platinum. And but by the time we finished, it was bronze because we had lost so much time and score with so many people going in and out. I just wanted to get it done. It was almost one of those things like I'm just going to be bullheaded and staying here until I get a crew that can get it done. So that was interesting. And then I ran it again one other time and it went much easier and got a platinum on the training. So I had my buff. And then went in competitive once with I'm trying to remember when I played it. Muffin's in the chat. Did we do that on competitive day? Was it Friday or later, or did we do it on training day? Wait for that message. Okay, training. Maybe it was like a Thursday or something, but we had a lot of fun running that. And then I did eventually go back in competitive. It might have only been with blueberries and got to the very end. Everything was going pretty well. Got to the third phase of taking them down. There's like little damage gates. And then we wiped. And I was the last person to die, but the other people started dying off, and I really tried to stay alive, and I was even on my hunter. But unfortunately, I died also. We wiped. And the score was really close. I was starting to get pretty sad. I'm like, oh, are we going to keep the 175K threshold? And it would just reach the Mark II where we were starting to lose a little score. But someone matched in really quick, and we were just barely enough. We ended with like 178, so barely got it done. So all this being said, I think you will see some variations. Obviously, we know this from. I mean, we don't see it as much now, right? With the baby strikes, the strikes that are super easy, it's like dum-dums can get that done. But I seem to remember this was kind of how it was for some things before, where the harder, what were they? The night. I feel like there was the heroic strike playlist, and there were certain days or weeks where it was particularly harder. Like, was it the rainbow burn, or there was something that we didn't like that was like harder?
Yeah, I think it was just the burn the alignment of certain modifiers, such as rainbow was just absolutely nightmarish.
And I remember it's kind of one of those things like, well, if you're going to match make in, you may get it done, you may not, just depending on who you get.
Yeah.
But the thing is I think this is a cool experiment. I like it. I like garden games this season. I'm not really like necessarily sure if I'm going to grind much. After the first several days is already like, I don't know about all the metal grinding, but I like the overall feel of it. And all the, I love the armor. I dropped 12K of bright dust to get a warlock and a hunter set. Whew.
Nice. I'm 100 bright dust away from getting a second class set, and I might actually outright pay for the third because they do look good.
Yeah, and the ship is cool that you can get from one of the triumphs.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it looks way awesome.
I got it. It's you have to get both platinums in 1 week. So the platinum competitive and then the platinum from the quest.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah, it's not hard. I have it equipped now. I do really like it. I took a shader request or a shader recommendation from Helios and put on Blue Shift, and it does look good on it. Subtle tone changes in the color, and I like it. I think there was one other one that I thought looked really good too. I had to go back and look.
Ooh, and I feel like, and based on stuff I was reading in chat also, this really looks like when I first came in the tower, it didn't look this close, but okay, you know how much those of us have seen this for a few years, the flags seem a lot better, more fluid these days.
Better
right?
now. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, better, definitely better now.
Anyways, Titan and Hunter are kind of neck and neck. It looks like Titan's just barely higher than Hunter.
Which is actually really great also for Titans because they released that graph just before Guardian Games happened this year, and I think Warlocks and Hunters were much closer this year in like average playtime for people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of amazing because Hunters kind of blew everyone out of the water for the first 2 years, but to see Warlocks and Hunters even somewhat close was a really interesting sign. The Void 3.0. Man.
Yep.
Certainly helps.
Oh, and before I forget, I did some trials labs.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Tell us about that.
I did some freelance, and I was able to get the pinnacle drop from doing trials, at least within a night. And I have now a pretty good PvE DPS Breeds Regret.
Oh, nice. Okay, maybe I should hop in too.
It was so sad because it happened, it like dropped, and it's like, oh, Reed's Regret, yeah, yay. You know, because I freaking focused like 30 of those things and couldn't find a good like DPS option. This one dropped with, it's not accelerated, but it's a magazine perk that increases range. The masterwork is charge time, and it's triple tap and focused fury. So it's like, yeah, that's good. Of course, it just like when I'm hunting one, I can't get one like to save my life. Just trying to do some trials to get like my rank increase. Yeah, just drop it in my lap, why don't you?
Yeah. So it went from more regret to not as much regret.
Yeah.
Says.
Yeah, definitely called him out. It went from all the regret to only slight regret.
Be a Bob Ross, happy little accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy little accent. On the raid front, I am happy to finally have my Sherpa emblem. You know, they
nice.
fixed that bug or something, and I didn't know how many more Sherpas I had to get, but I checked again, and Bungie rewards page now says I have enough Sherpas, even though supposedly I have 17 total according to raid report, but something finally clicked on the Bungie side. So I now have that emblem, but still chasing the exotic. Not a big deal, but it is kind of interesting that this has been my longest running chase so far, And it's not even that bad. I have 37 clears. Of course, all those aren't possible clears to get the exotic. If I had to guess, 10 maybe at most, maybe 12. I don't know, something like that.
You're not hitting you're not hitting the dark times yet.
Certainly not. Yeah, but still.
And also, answer
it is
Ninja real
weird.
quick. Hunters 100% lost the first year. Got obliterated by Titans. Everyone got just absolutely annihilated by Titans.
Yeah,
that happened.
Titans that first year.
Yeah.
So speaking of your Sherpa emblem there, Kingsley, a few of us did guided games the other night. We wanted to run another raid and ended up doing that.
Yes,
interesting experience.
I was going to ask on other raid details. Yeah, how tell us all the details. I assume, was it quick to find them, or did you have to wait a little bit?
No, I don't know how it is on the other side if you're hunting, but for us, trying to find people looking for a game was pretty quick. We got it within a matter, I would say, a minute max of posting it up there. So that aspect of it was really cool. Didn't have to wait long. I would say, as far as being raiders, they were okay. They weren't bad. They had run it before. It sounded like, but they didn't talk much, and can pose a problem a little bit if you're quiet or not talking much. One of them I don't think popped in until we were in first encounter, like during the whole opening sequence. We were just typing in in-game chat to him. So that raid in particular, you definitely need communication open and going strong.
Yeah, and we've done the raid, but you got to have those expectations ahead of time. We've done the raid with other people that we don't do vocal communication as much. We've done typing with crews. Shout out to other people in the Discord, Dunder and Mia, and it works great. But we kind of like set that all up ahead of time. But if you're expecting someone to talk and they don't even type and tell you they're not going to talk or something, that could be weird,
Yeah. But yeah, definitely shout out to Dunder and Mia. We just ran one. Was it this week or was it last week?
I think it was. This week. Yeah, Thursday-ish.
And went really well, actually.
And Lumina, of course. And who else was in that? The last person, was it Mr. Monkey?
Yeah, I think Monkey's been doing them. Yeah. Monkey, Lumina, Mia, Dunder, you and me.
Yep. Now, guided games, this is really interesting because especially if they have done the raid before, I mean, maybe they had another good experience with guided game, but I kind of think as guided games is like something that like almost the total noobs do. I kind of wonder why they didn't just do LFG like through the app, I always wonder like why people still try guided games, and they probably have to wait a long time too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't imagine, why somebody would use it other than the fact that maybe their clan's not that active. They don't have easy access or probably know the things that we do about the Hunter.io or the in-game LFG, or they're maybe just scared to do it. So they do the guided games knowing somebody's willing to Sherpa or willing to be nice. I mean, that could be the only reason I think that.
Oh my gosh, this is so brilliant, though, what Muffin said in the chat. And there's so many aspects to this. She thinks overall guided games has more dedicated and patient people. It can be a better experience. I mean, yeah, you have to be patient waiting for someone to pick you up. That's for sure in the guided games. So I that makes sense. I mean, yeah, if I was doing the LFG, I would definitely, if I was posting a raid, I'd say chill run, looking for chill people, or if I was looking to be a pickup for someone else, definitely don't look for the groups that say, now what to do, all that stuff. But yeah, so if we had to rank it, and you could have also considered, do you know about the public 100? So it's not just our group, but it's the whole 100.
Right.
I feel like that's how I actually picked up people like Ed and a friend that he used to play with. I feel like I did a public LFG post there in their 100, but if we had to rank it, maybe 100 and then guided games and then LFG would be the most scary.
Yeah. I would say that's fair. I haven't done the 100 yet in that approach doing a public game, but I'll trust you on your word.
I mean, it worked well the one time I tried. It was a while ago, and I only did it the once, and the people were all cool. And I think it was the Deep Stone Crypt. It was a while ago.
Nice.
Well, excellent. Yeah, so raiding news too. Oh, I do seem to remember being in a raid with you where I thought you were going to get it for what, the fourth time? It sounded like you said like an uh-oh or like a oh boy.
No, I like to do that. I like to do that every time now.
Okay.
Just because people know that I've gotten it so many times already.
So you just pull on her leg.
But honestly, this past week, I've only run one character. So I've only had one lootable run in all my clears this week. My other characters are either at the cap, the pinnacle cap, or close. And I hadn't been really running my warlock. I've been running my hunter more, especially in Crucible, and my hunter's already at pinnacle cap anyway. So I felt no need to do it. The only reason I would really want to go maybe further and do it with other characters is for the red border drops to finish out my the patterns, the raid patterns, because I don't have all the raid patterns yet. But honestly,
Sure.
I'm really in no rush. Maybe a Lubre is I kind of want to finish next. I have the Cataclysm and the SMG done.
Yeah. Yeah, legit. All right. Let's see. Any other Destiny news anyone wants to talk about, or we can get into any interesting news in Zetob, which I don't think there was too much this week, right?
No,
That's
just
not
Doctor
awful.
Strange. That's the only real news this week.
All right, go for it.
I think we're still in spoiler territory, right, Des? Have you did see it?
100%
right?
Yeah,
spoiler.
definitely
No,
still
I haven't seen it
spoiler.
yet. It's in
Oh.
spoiler territory. I will
Okay.
murder you through this internet connection.
Edifier and I were talking back and forth over DM about it. There are some questions after, but I'll wait till you see it, and we can open up the forum, bring you in, and discuss.
Okay, but you didn't even, at least you could stay spoiler free and still say like what rating you would give it or overall thoughts.
See, I'm very lenient on my ratings in general, but I would definitely give this one a 10. I thought it was really well done. They did pack a lot of content in there, and there's a lot left without spoiling anything. There's still a lot left to be seen, and I would say inside the Marvel universe. Some
course.
questions that weren't answered. I would say
It's all
definitely
typical
watch.
things, but
Yeah.
but a 10.
Yeah, I mean,
For anybody who hasn't watched it, definitely watch WandaVision first. I think that
Yeah.
was definitely a prerequisite to watching the movie.
actually, if you go by the producers and such, not only WandaVision but the Loki series are kind of prerequisite to Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I could see Loki for that fact, for the multiverse portion of it, but yeah, I could.
Well, cool. I watched the show Outer Range. Has anyone heard about that? A new show on Amazon that people were saying it's like a Western, like meets Lost.
No, never heard
Anyways,
of it.
I didn't love it as much as people were talking it up. It has Josh Brolin as the main character. And the best part of it was like the music and the soundtrack. But I watched the whole season just to kind of make sure. But
Like
there was-
binge watched it.
pretty
Like-
much like they released 2/3 of the episodes one week, and then the next week they had like the final 2 or 3. So the season is done, fully released. So pretty much binged it, and I don't know, I just wanted so much more thinking about Lost. And at the very, very end, there was a cool twist that I didn't see. But even that one twist, that's like you'll have 3 of that level in one episode of Lost. So I was like, I don't know how it has anything to compare to Lost, but it's an interesting show if anyone wants to check it out, for sure. I won't give anything away about it in case. All right. Let us then go to
Oh,
the TWAB.
Um,
Yeah.
also,
Yep.
Moon Knight has ended.
Moon Knight. Yeah.
I have not watched any of it. I do want to watch it though, but now that it's all
No,
there,
it's
I
such
can
a-
go in and binge it.
Yeah, it's a super good watch. Do not. It's kind of like Eternals. Don't 100% expect a normal Marvel experience,
Okay.
and definitely get rid of, or definitely do not expect any kind of preconceptions you might have of a Disney experience either. Because I will say, just with a lot of, not even just violence and such, but just a lot of subject matter, that this is like the first time that I watched this, and I'm like, this is on Disney.
Yeah.
Mohafo in the chat says maybe it'll be released on Disney Plus by the time he's done watching the prerequisites. But honestly, the shows, both Loki and WandaVision, I think those series are short enough that they're easily bingeable within a few days.
Yeah, because they're 8 to 9 episodes long, 40-ish minutes apiece.
Right.
Like, it's kind of the formula for the Marvel Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah. Bite-sized chunks.
Yeah. And again, especially now, the only bad thing is Disney does not believe in the Netflix methodology of just dumping everything in your lap, so it's not bingeable from the start. But yeah, especially by now, it's all 100% bingeable.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do it.
Do it. All right.
Twab of mine.
I mean, anything we want to talk about, we don't have to. Actually, looking at pulling this up now, there is a large portion in the middle. I'm actually super impressed. They answered more than ever before so many clarifications and questions that people have about the other mega twab that we didn't even get all the way through because we had a guest interview the week after.
Right. But no, they actually went into a lot of detail in this twab. Not only to clarify the twab before last, but to like explain, like they completely lifted the veil behind aim assist, like entirely. They 100% explain exactly what aim assist does. So, like I said, it's a lot of good information.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, key points. I didn't actually read it.
I didn't read all of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a lot of explanations. It is a lot of clarifications.
There's some pictures in here with the aim assist.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they actually show you and explain how the aim assist works from the programming aspect, I believe, and they do that in order to explain how the aim assist will work for in-air accuracy. So definitely for more information on that, and if you're really interested in the finer tuned mechanics of things, definitely give this stuff a read. It's definitely interesting. They actually define their terminology of scalar, which is just a fancy way of saying a multiplier. So stuff like that. I mean, it's nothing like super necessary to know or anything. The one thing they definitely do clarify is like armor scavenger perks are being disabled for PvP, just all of them. So it's not just like special weapons to keep the special weapon economy down. Yes, all scavenger mods are going to be disabled.
Yeah.
They do mention also the fact that they don't want to push everyone to running double primaries again. But because of this special ammo economy, running double primaries is going to be a stronger tactic for starving the enemy team. So, there's that to keep in mind.
Ooh, yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
Of course, also to remind people, with these chains, like you're only going to drop one round.
Yeah. Just the
from your special. regardless of how much you have, as long as you have at least the 1 round, you'll drop 1 round. They also do clarify the snapshot changes. So effectively, snipers will feel snappier to zoom in without snapshot course, but with snapshot they won't feel, even with snapshot they actually won't feel quite as snappy as they used to because of the certain changes they've made. They do clarify that the BXR55 Battler from the 30th anniversary, 25th anniversary stuff will be buffed with the lightweight archetype changes. Because even though technically it's not a lightweight, it does share the rate of fire. But it will also be getting that buff. They confirmed that the Retrace Path, or legendary trace rifle, is getting trace rifle buffs. They're confirming slug shotguns are getting the nerf to shotguns, at least part of it, because obviously slug shotguns don't have pellet spread, so they can't nerf that on a slug shotgun. Good grief. Very interesting piece of information here is that or a couple actually for this one, because people apparently ask where Vex Mythoclast lied for like the airborne effectiveness and how it's going to be considered. Because technically it's a fusion rifle, it fires like an auto rifle, it has linear fusion rifle mode. Where's it going to sit? And they do mention that, or of course, they give the Vex's effectiveness stat, which would be at 19. But at least for translating the stability, its stability into flinch resistance and how the airborne effectiveness is translated, it is being treated as an auto rifle. So there's that. But here's the other interesting. Is Le Monarch affected by necrotic grip? Because again, necrotic grip will include a buff to, because people caught it, it will include a buff to weapons of sorrow for, I believe, airborne effectiveness, which canonically is very few weapons. But because of them changing Le Monarch to an actual poison damage type, a lot of people thought Le Monarch might be considered a weapon of sorrow, because I did see that going around a little bit. But Bungie is definitely clarifying. Le Monarch is not a weapon of sorrow and is not going to become one. The only weapons that count as weapons of sorrow currently in the game are Thorn and Osteostriga. And Touch of Malice when it comes out. They don't say that, but
yeah.
That's our other canonical weapon of sorrow, is the Touch of Malice. Oh, and potentially Necrochasm.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I forgot about that weapon.
Yeah, and also potentially the Crota Raid weapons, just in general. So technically, Whisper of the Worm might be. Well, I mean, no, they say okay, fair enough. Anyhow, so yeah, so a lot of like clarifications. There's a lot of things that they're going to be saying that they're going to be keeping their eyes on, such as a lot of the questions were that the auto rifle number or the auto rifle changes seem small, but they do tell us because of like zoom scalar changes and other things, the change is larger than it sounds. But they do plan to look at primary weapon balance more in Season 18, which will of course include auto rifles. So more sweeping sandbox changes, potentially in Season 18. Oh, and another question. The full auto fire mode that was going to be, or the full auto option that was going to be added as an accessibility option that they promised a while back, they do clarify that they are shooting for a Season 19 release on that. But they're not going to be able to get it in season 17 or 18 for sure. So they are shooting for season 19.
Yeah. I mean, you can still, of course, just to remind people, there is a mod you can put in to do it temporarily.
Yes.
This is the thing where it'll be a setting in your settings screen. You can do it for all weapons or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's currently the full auto retrofit is their band-aid for that situation, which works on pulse rifles, sidearms, scouts.
Man, I've been using it on Trustee. That already has a faster fire rate. So in full auto, it's actually kind of nice.
You know, Trustee is full auto, right?
Is it already?
Yeah.
God.
Because it's a rapid fire frame. Rapid fire scout rifles are already full auto.
All right. Silly me. I mean, I've used it also on the pointed inquiry, but then I just put it on Trusty afterwards. I'm like, ooh, this one's faster.
Yes, it's a very small detail that gets overlooked fairly often. Because I seem to remember someone being surprised that Aisha's Embrace is also full auto. Which, trust me, that was my exact issue with like the last word for the first half of the time I was using it back in D1, because I didn't translate in my head that fanfire, the way it was worded, meant pull the trigger down and you're just going to fire forever. But no, yeah. And it's also like precision frame rocket launchers already have built-in tracking. So
I just don't use scouts that much, but yes, right here. I mean, intrinsic trait. Obviously, at rapid fire frame fires full auto with deeper ammo reserves.
Yes. It's a missable, very slight addition, because I do believe it is only basically the rapid fire scout rifles that have that addition. Because of course, rapid fire snipers, rapid fire autos don't have that addition. So it's fair to overlook it.
Yeah. No, it's all good. But then that means I don't have to have it all.
No, not for Trusty or Aisha's Embrace, or if you're still using Randy's throwing knife, for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, I mean, I forgot. Yeah, that's obviously auto. So,
Yeah.
And that was kind of at the time too. I was like, oh yeah, this is the exception because it's a scout, but it's full auto. But yeah, I did not remember or know about Trusty, and so it is the rapid fire frame. Thanks for. I can hopefully burn that into my brain.
Right. I will forget it. I'm sure of it. I won't remember it.
It
I don't remember a lot.
It might have also been attached to a foundry, potentially. Because back when D2 Vanilla launched, foundries had slight archetype differences. All precision frame rocket launchers were Haka precision. So they were actually labeled as Haka precision frames, or what might still be there for the Suros rapid fire sidearms, the fact that they also fire full auto, was a Suros rapid fire. The 3-round burst sidearms were all Omolon adaptive frame sidearms, because those were the first 3-round bursts, but that one has been condensed to just adaptive sidearms, so you definitely have to pay attention there if you're ever wondering. So, yeah. Vernacular changes. Pay attention to your archetype.
Yeah.
It might help.
Anything else?
Plot-wise, like I said, that's the meat and the potatoes of
It is. I mean, once
they do mention, they will be starting in season 17. We will be capable of gaining a gold border on crafted weapons. The prerequisites for that are going to be to have an enhanced intrinsic perk and 2 crafted enhanced traits.
Yep. So
And
you're
then it
making
will,
your weapon saying it's elite mode.
yes, and that will give it the pretty gold border that everyone wants, which is entirely understandable.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've been trained by Destiny for years by now to know that when a weapon has a gold border, it's done.
Mhm.
Like you don't have
True.
to work on it anymore. It's complete at that point in time.
Yeah. So I could have it on my Tarnation right now, but I can't because it's not till next season.
Michael Ave, I think, is the only one that I got the enhanced on. I was going to do some of the other ones, but never did it. And now I just have these, those Ascendant alloys. I just have them sitting around doing nothing. I should honestly go back in and mess around and upgrade some perks and try a few things out, but haven't had the
Weird.
motivation to go do it.
2 weeks away by the time this comes out to the next season. Can you believe it?
Are we? So is there no gap between Guardian games and
No,
next season?
this time
Wow.
there's not. Yeah, and a few of us were surprised and double checked in the season thing, and double checked the Guardian games is 3 weeks. But yeah, we're recording this right now 15 days, but again, by the time it comes out, basically 12, 14 days. Well, yeah, we may be a few delayed. Don't hold us to it, but anyways, 2 weeks basically is what we have left.
Crap, I need to hurry up and. Well, actually, no. Well, no, yeah, because seasonal activities don't go away anymore. Yeah, never mind. I'll be fine. I'll play catch up on that title because I got lazy on.
It's just
Yu-Gi-Oh!
mostly the
Happened.
Guardian game stuff, I guess, and and maybe the
Yeah.
resets for the
Oh no, yeah,
Vanguard
100% that.
Crucible stuff. Yeah.
Oh well, I don't even care about that anymore. As long as I get the weapon, I don't.
For those that do
Time.
care, I don't care.
Yeah. For those that care, that's good on you. But as soon as they made them super grindy and short seasons, I've lost any interest in collecting the ornaments.
I'm on my last one.
That's good
Vanguard,
for you.
surprisingly.
And are you just banging your head?
I'd rather be doing something else. I'd rather be maybe doing a raid, even though I've done Val 50, close to 50 times now. I'd much rather be doing that versus, doing strikes over and over, because I'm just right now grinding for a number. Granted, it is helping with the Guardian games and, trying to
Wait.
get medals, but
So right now you're getting tired of grinding for a number, but yet you have no problem grinding for a triumph score.
I think
yeah,
I thought
and that's the only reason.
number.
And that's almost the same number.
Yeah,
because it is a
what is it, like a 5?
associated 20
Isn't
points.
it a really 20?
20 points for obtaining the skin. Yep.
Well, when you're neck and neck with everyone, I know why you need it, but it's absurd for most of us. And
yeah, I mean, I'm going to say I'm neck and
absurd.
neck. I'm like 500 points away or so from third, which is certainly doable, which is kind of why I wanted to renew a little bit more focus on some of these master challenges, like Master Vogue, getting a Master Vogue clear, getting my Vogue title. Those points are like 25 and 50 in some cases. So, that certainly is helpful when you're hunting that score versus a 5-point score, or one that I'm looking at right now for seasonal, where you have to open up the seasonal chest at the end. This last phase of it's 2 points. And I've had like no motivation to go in there and just finish out a couple runs for 2 points.
I'm slowly, excuse me, sorry for coughing in the mic. I do want, sorry, I should have hit mute. My computer was
how
off
you
to the
really
side.
feel.
Well, how I really feel is I do want to get the Gumshoe title, but that one is a little annoying with some RNG needed in the Wellspring and in the World Drop. Yeah, I'm getting those slowly. I have like 1 to 2 of a couple weapons left. I'll get it eventually. The once I get those, I have everything else done for Gumshoe, but I need like 2 more for Tittle Diddles, as you call it, Sin. And I think I need 3 even of the World Drop one. I don't think I've gotten any red borders of that. So that's going to be the craziest one, but
yeah, the Wellsprings were the worst ones for me, and I ended up clearing those out. early on enough in the season to allow me to focus on some other things. And honestly, I haven't really been back to the Throne World or Wellspring since.
Forensic Nightmare, yes. I've obviously gotten Forensic Nightmare, but no red border drops of it.
Weird.
Absolutely none. I thought they give you Forensic Nightmare Red Border in the campaign.
They give you it in the Finch tree, I think. Or no, the
Kingsley's
campaign
saying
maybe.
he deleted it. He deleted it, didn't feel like grinding it out, and now he's sad.
No.
What? I didn't say
Well,
I didn't feel
that's
like
the case.
grinding it out. I am grinding it. I mean, well, yeah, I don't totally feel like it, but I don't remember deleting one. If I did, bad on me. But I have not gotten any that I can remember.
Like I said, I seem to remember because I think I have a Forensic Nightmare.
Red border?
I think. A quick double check here, and
Well, obviously people do. They have the title. Sen has the title, but I just.
Well, yeah, 100%.
I.
Oh no, it's done. So yeah, I've actually had multiple. Never mind. So I can't quite be as good of a.
I at least have been looking.
Control. There we go.
Yeah, I have been looking at some point because I've been more semi-actively working on that title for close to a month now. I didn't do it at the very beginning, and every time I get a Throne World drop or a package level up or whatever, I very rarely get Pointed Inquiry, and when I do, it hasn't been a red. So nonetheless, I'm still getting bad RNG going forward.
You want to talk about hilarious bad RNG though?
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of like training stuff, or I did a lot more of the training playlist and like recreational or whatever. Specifically, kind of hunting like for a higher chance of the nightfall weapons because I don't have a good hothead, so I could definitely use a good hothead. How about every time I've done the training playlist, it's always given me prisms, the uncommon drop.
Yeah, because I've been killing people
time. It's given me the prisms. I've gotten no nightfall weapon drops. Even killing like all the champions, which gives you like the best chance in any nightfall mode. I've gotten just the prisms. Like 2 prisms every run.
I got a golf ball on my first drop, and that wasn't even in the training list. I do think I got a hothead, but yeah.
No, like I go in expecting maybe getting. Cause I have a workable one at least because it does have explosive light, so it is nice. But yeah, going in like, oh, maybe I'll get a good one, and like every run, it's like 2 prisms. Okay, cool, 2 prisms. Oh, okay, all right, two more prisms. Great. It's some of the best worst RNG I've had. Considering again, it's the listed uncommon drop, but it's what I've always got.
Yep.
Hey, stockpile them.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm going to have to do.
All right. Well, anything that else we want to talk about before the end of the season? I mean, let us know too what you're working on for the end of the season or things you want to get accomplished. I do want to give a shout out because it's kind of beginning-ish of the month for our Patreons. And we have, I was going to say Sin and Des, but you guys are admins. That's why in there. I'm in there too. We don't pay for our own podcast. What we do with our time, sweat, and tears. Yes, we do. But
blood, sweat, and tears.
Yep.
That's right.
But I want to give a shout out to Girthy Marble Man. Kato. Red Grackle Philip. I won't say what his name is right now. Just Blub. Fuck up. We have also All Thumbs, Cloud Nebula, Gator, and Mr. Monkey. Thank you very much, everyone.
Indeed. Generous individuals.
You guys are amazing.
And use your generosity to pick your perks for the month of May.
Yeah, get them out quick, guys. Come on.
Let us know in our Patreon channel. You too, if you join for the low price of $5 a month, you get a special channel you can chat with us in, and you get certain perks if you want to change Sin's name, if you want to bump up a question to ask Des about lore stuff. If you just want to basically bug us, that's the whole point of this, right? You're like helping us out, but you're also having fun bugging us. So
Do it.
it's worth it.
You are earworms, and you become our temporary supervisors.
Yes,
At least
I
for a
know.
limited time.
We do joke. I mean, we have, even though we're the admins of the Guardian Hub, we do have an HR department that keeps us in track. You know who you are, and the patrons keep us in track too. So
Just remember, at HR.
At
yes,
HR.
HR.
It's one of those hidden tags, right? It works, but I don't know how well it pops up in the drop down list.
Yes, for sure, Philip. You can get rid of Sin's shovel cat name. So maybe pick that perk right away and let us know. But if you are going to change it, Sin, you got to tell the story real quick. Maybe like a 30-second version on the podcast.
And maybe not so gross.
Yeah.
Oh God, do I have to listen to this again?
Yeah, I'll make it brief because I've told it a few times. I'll see if Gator keeps it in GDC because it was kind of like the after dark after the show ended. He was still recording, so I don't know if he'll include it. But sometime Wednesday night into Thursday, a dead animal carcass was brought onto my yard. I have a fenced-in backyard, so it was in like the front, kind of right at like the border where my yard meets the neighbor's
Wait,
yard.
do you think someone put it there?
If they did, they're one sick, demented person. I think it was probably
That's
an
what
animal.
I'm wondering now. You think it just died there, not someone put
I
it
think
there?
it was buried somewhere else, and I think it was brought by another animal.
Ew.
Yeah,
Ew.
like it was. I didn't think it was that bad until I went out there. But the short version is it was bad. Like it had been gone for a while, let's say, and insides were out, and the smell was putrid. My buddy of mine that I went to see the multiverse, Doctor Strange, the multiverse, helped me get rid of it. He held the bag, and both of us have very weak stomachs. And I finally got it into the bag that I was going to put out for trash the next day. He dropped the bag, and I finally got a strong whiff of the odor and about lost it. But it was pretty bad. We didn't we told the kids it was a bird. We didn't want to tell them it was a cat. And
I heard the cat was like liquefying and bones popping off when you were trying to pick it up.
Yeah, like I said, the decomposition of it was.
Sorry, I made that worse.
Yeah, it was awful, to say the least.
So we have gross stories for you here on the Guardian Up podcast for you to listen into.
Yeah, I didn't tell the other story. It's kind of another sad story. The after the disposal, my buddy was driving. We were leaving my neighborhood, and there were cars up one of the roads that lead you out to the main road that we would take leaving the development. And this our development's basically split by this access road, which I think the speed limit's like 35 miles an hour, but there's a lot of townhouses on one side and a lot of single family on the other. We were leaving and we were going to go up that road to get out. And there were a bunch of cars on both sides of the road, and it looked like nobody was going by. So we were like, we're not going to mess with this. We just went straight and went out the other entrance. We'll come to find out later, I'm in the end part of the movie, and my wife texted me and said there was a 4-year-old kid that was hit by a car, and that's when it was. We had driven right past it. A 4-year-old was hit by a car. Found out later that the lady or the girl that was driving the car, I think she was on her phone. And I think I also read somewhere after the fact that she might have been intoxicated. And found out the kid was going to be okay. Some bruises, scrapes, bloody nose, maybe some swelling.
Okay,
but,
good. Well, this is a super sad story.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to not have you tell stories anymore, Sid.
No, it's sad for the fact that can happen to anybody. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it just takes one person not paying attention when you're in a neighborhood full of kids, and something like that could happen.
Yeah, the good things is the kid sounds like it could have been worse, and
Could have been
hopefully
worse.
people can, at least in your area, realize, how many people actually saw that. But still, it is a good reminder for everyone. Watch how you drive.
Exactly.
Sure.
No texting and driving, especially in a neighborhood with kids.
Yep.
100% especially.
All right.
Don't do it.
Well, we turned that
Boring.
around, made it a good learning lesson.
Right.
And don't pick up putrid cats on
Oh
your front
gosh,
lawn.
no.
Just let
And don't ask for any
someone
help
else
from
do
me.
it.
'Cause it's a no from me, dog.
call Gator in next time. He'll come out. All right. We need more patrons to sign up so we can get some funds. We'll fly Gator out and he can take care of your cat problem next time.
Exactly. He actually had a story of his own after that. And that end after
Oh
dark
yeah,
portion of his.
yep. He can tell that another time if anyone hasn't heard it. I know that story.
New
Yeah.
subscription tier. After dark featured stories.
Yes. Or the subscription tier can be help with animal control problems or something. Anyways, good stuff. Well, let's finish up here with starting with reminding everyone where people can find you, Des, and all your information.
Relevant information, you can find me on Twitter at DES_Raven, home of the fastest index. As mentioned earlier, it is up to date and good to go. You can also, of course, find me in our Discords, where I'm lurking around, not especially paying attention to any individual channel, but kind of paying attention to certain individual channels. Because sometimes it's a madhouse trying to keep track of all of them. Then,
Ooh, yes. They can find me on Twitter as well, Sin_media, or in the Discord next to you all. Definitely not over in the Hephaestus Index. I leave that up to you. Shufflecat Kingsley, where can they find you?
Trying to pass that bad juju on me? Anyways, you can find me as KingsleyMac, all the places, except for Twitter, where I'm MC Kingsley. Now, you can find our show either on Twitter as The Guardian Hub, or you can find our show with all of the links and information to join the clan Discord, all of the above, at our lovely website, theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Sin. Thank you, Des. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in this week again, and we will talk to you all again next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
later.